Righto chaps, how the devil. It's time once again for your favourite show on YouTube. I am of course talking about the BBC Spews. The perfect way to spend your Sunday listening to an ill-tempered bootneck whinging about ridiculous far-left propaganda paid for by your fucking labours. Isn't it good? It's always good. It's always good. The comedy writes itself. These so-called journalists come up with comedy gold at a rate that frankly astounds me. They should be using the journalists to write the comedy shows on the BBC, because the comedy shows are about as funny as finding a lump on your gonads. But the news, the news is comedy gold. So let's get to it, shall we? This story, to start with, not particularly funny. Not too much room to squeeze in any insane social justice propaganda. You can't really fit a wheelchair-bound lesbian with a club foot into a story about French fishermen picketing Jersey. But let's read it anyway. It says a protest over post-Brexit rights by French fishermen at Jersey's main port has ended, following talks that aim to resolve the row. About 60 boats protested at St Helier, and 2 Royal Navy warships and 2 French vessels were sent to the area. Bit of an unwieldy sentence, wasn't it? 60 boats, 2 Navy ships, 2 French ships. The sneaky, backstabbing, underhanded frogs say their rights are unfairly restricted by licences issued under the Channel Islands' new system. What do you mean you're right? I'll stop you there, lads. We've had 3 cod wars with the Icelandics, and we've lost them all, because it's an internationally recognised thing that you're allowed to control your own waters. Yeah? If it's within fucking 30 miles of your coastline or something. I mean, they've extended it 3 times on the bounce, Iceland. Well, basically, you are allowed to police your own waters. This is not controversial. It's not like passing one of Harriet Harman's laws about buggering 9-year-olds whilst high-fiving your fucking boyfriend, right? It's totally uncontroversial. You're allowed to police your own water. You own it, right? The frogs somehow think they're entitled to do as they please. Because we know why. We know why. France's economy is in the doldrums. France is, for want of a better word, the armpit of Europe. In fact, it's worse than the armpit of Europe. It is the dirt box of Europe. It is a toilet, a sink. I've been several times. I went in the 90s. It was lovely. The smell of fresh baked baguettes and fine wine everywhere you went. Now, walk under a fucking ancient monument, get accosted by swarthy foreigners demanding money with menaces in exchange for fridge magnets. It's an absolute shithole. And that's why older people are always voting right of centre, because they know what it used to look like. And in the 1990s, it was merely a dump. Now, it's an absolute shit pit. All these optimistic lefties go, ooh, the world's better than it's ever been. We're happier and we're living longer. Not if you've been to France in the last 5 years. You will not think that. Steven Pinker, he's an eternal optimist, isn't he? Send him to France, he'll walk around that for 10 minutes and go, oh my God, we have turned it into fucking Beelzebub's lair. I'd rather spend a long weekend in Fred West's cellar than walk around Paris sightseeing. It is the armpit of Europe. So we know why they're protesting. They have to. They have no choice in the matter. France is an economic basket case. France can't control their borders even worse than we can. Basically, France is like shit Britain at this point. Similar size, similar population, worse at everything, every metric. More terrorist attacks, more poverty, more strikes, can't empty the bins, can't organise a piss-up in a brewery. There is nothing they can do. They can't get the trains to run on time. They can't get the buses to run on time. They can't get the shit cleared out the streets. None of them can remain faithful to their wives. They're even worse on animal rights, because they're all busy making foie gras and all that shit that frankly disturbs me, right? Where are the vegans on that? If you want to have a go at someone for being cruel to animals, go pick on a Frenchman, yeah? Let Jean-Claude know the crack. There is nothing good about France. Yeah, just like the good old days. Get in. Let's get some chew going with the French again, shall we? Oh no, what's that? Hang on. France threatened to cut off electricity. Oh no, yeah, could be getting bad. What's this? They threatened to cut off the electricity supply, so the Navy sent a paltry 50 Royal Marines, and voila! Oh, lo and behold, 21 minutes later, France have left Jersey. 50 Marines turn up and they shit themselves. How very French. How very French. Yeah? They went, we will restage the Battle of Trafalgar. You lost that one, lads. You lost that one. Sacre bleu, they are sending Marines. They propelled the boats back to France using fucking pump power. 100 French sailors ejecting emissions from their anuses all at once. Straight back to France. Job's a good one. No shots fired. Piece of piss. So, yeah, don't worry, lads. It's all over. A protest has ended after the Navy sent 2 poultry ships and 50 poultry bootnecks. I mean, the French sent 60 boats. That's not even a bootneck a boat. But, you know, I'm sure 4 or 5 of them were big lads. Fuck it, they can have 2. So, done and dusted. Nice one. I am actually a bit sad because I would love to get to grips with the Frenchies again. And I'll tell you why. They have never been our ally. We have had 30 Anglo-French wars. They sold the Argentinians Mirage missiles during the Falklands War. We can lie about this entente cordiale all we like. The French are not our allies. They have always fucked us. De Gaulle fucked us after the Second World War. They have never, ever been our allies, and they never will be. So, fuck the French, and if the worst comes to the worst, we will twat them. There was a few French soldiers in Afghanistan, but they were so far in the rear, they had to send their socks forward to get washed. They didn't do anything. We have veterans, grizzled veterans from the War on Terror, 25 years of fucking clumsy wars, but our lads got shit done. We've got 5 million war veterans who are desperate to get to grips with our fucking French chums. So have at it, Macron, you oily banker. Bring it on. I cannot wait to kick off the next 100-year war. I will sign back up. I would sign up for that if I was 97 years old. And I would shake my fucking walking stick in the face of any foul-smelling sexual deviant, a nonce from Nantes. Right? Let's get to it. If you wanna rook, lads, we will oblige. Yeah? Get in. I fucking love it. This one I have to talk about because it's been something I've been saying for a long time. Alcohol deaths highest for 20 years in England and Wales. Well, fucking hell, I didn't see that coming, did I? I didn't say this about 50 times in the last 12 months, did I? Oh yeah, total fucking boom. Where did this come from? Jesus Christ. Morris the Mole saw this coming. In Middlesbrough, the nurses are calling it lockdown liver. There's been that many pissheads brought in with fucking severe health problems because they've been getting shit-faced in the house for 12 months with no social contact. They are calling it lockdown liver. It's a thing. It says alcohol killed more people in 2020 than in any of the previous 20 years. Up 20% from 2019. 7,423 deaths. Every single one of them, not all of them will have been caused by lockdown, but a significant fucking number. We know it. You know it. I know it. It's common sense. Obviously, we can't know for certain what percentage was caused by the lockdown, but we know for a fact some of them were because the health professionals that aren't far left fucking ridiculous authoritarians have been saying it. It's been in The Lancet, it's been in The Economist, been in loads of reputable publications. Christopher Hitchens has talked about it. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. It was irresponsible. It says last year around 80% of the deaths were from alcoholic liver disease, 10 from mental and behavioural disorders, and 6 from accidental poisoning. In England, men living in the most deprived areas were 4 times more likely to die. Obviously, because as I've said many times, if you're locked down in a 5-bedroom detached house in fucking the Lake District and you've got a wife, 2 kids and a whippet, you're not going to be as depressed as a poor bloke in a bedsit in a big city with 4 walls and fuck all else. Think about it. A bachelor in a cupboard by himself for a year. What's he going to do? Is he going to be gaily skipping through the streets, sipping a Perrier? Or is he going to be going, you know what? My life is shit past the special brew. I think we all know. So it's all well and good being pro-lockdown when you're a Guardian reader. I mean, maybe there's a correlation between the amount of money you've got and the willingness to support the lockdown, right? Because all of the middle-class arseholes who work for the BBC, all the middle-class arseholes who read The Guardian, they're all pro-lockdown. And they all live in nice big posh houses with front and back gardens, with their families, happy as Larry. Poor people live in 1- and 2-bedroom flats, bed sits on the fucking own, skint, pissed off, morale vacuum has been through the living room, right? Of course it affects the poor more. But they don't care. They couldn't give a shite. Professor Ian Gilmore said, lives cut short. We knew there was going to be lives cut short. We knew it. And Mr. Gilmore says, introducing alcohol strategy. Don't. What about ending the lockdown? It does mention health experts that said more people were drinking at home during lockdown, which could lead to a rise. But then back to Dr. Sadie saying, we're never going to know. We're never going to know. Things need to be better understood. No, we know. We know, you fucking dippy bint. We know why too many people have drank themselves to death, and it's because they are pissed off because they've been locked in the fucking house for a year, right? End the lockdown. I've said this 50 times in the last 12 months, longer now. We all saw it coming a mile away. And it's going to be worse. Drug addiction, spousal abuse, child molestation, suicide, heart attacks, strokes. I've said it a dozen times. You don't need to hear me whinge about it anymore. Needless to say, I take no pleasure in being proven right, as fucking usual. Here's a good one. Woman loses nearly 113k in a dating site romance fraud. Ladies, get a fucking clue. A woman says she's facing bankruptcy after losing 113 grand to a scammer. Rachel Elwer from the West Midlands said the man, who claimed he lived nearby, told her he'd gone abroad for an engineering contract in Ukraine. He convinced her he needed money for issues that had cropped up and said he'd been taken captive by loan sharks. She said there was no guarantee of any money coming back. I should fucking hope not. Who's going to pay the bill? Me? Do we have to keep putting taxpayers on the hook because some people are complete mongs? Is that something we should be doing? I think there should be a little bit of punishment for behaving like a mong. Can we please go back to living in a meritocracy? Please. That's why she was giving money to a man she'd never met. The export manager said, when he said to me his life was in danger, I thought he'd been murdered. Can you imagine feeling you're responsible for someone, whether someone lives or dies? Listen, export manager, I wouldn't trust her to manage a game of snakes and ladders, right? So if you're that thick, how do you get to be a manager? How do you get to be a manager? Well, first of all, if I was her boss, I'd be like, not really work related, but what among? What among? You are going on probation. Because if you're that thick, I don't trust you to manage a piggy bank, let alone exports, you dippy mare. And she only met him on 1st of January. Like, what's that? Less than 6 months. His picture looked nice. Oh, okay then. Send him all your money. Oh, that's a nice picture. Have it. What are you doing? What are you doing, you dippy mare? You can almost understand why people are misogynistic, can't you? Because when they do shit like this, you think, fucking hell, are we really equal? Are we, ladies, are we really equal? Do you think a bloke would send 115 grand to a bird he'd never met? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're out there. But holy shit balls. Anyway, here's some great advice from Action Fraud. Be suspicious of any requests for money. Fucking hell. I'm suspicious when my dad asks me for money. I'm like, what do you want this for, you old cunt? I suggest people are a little bit more suspicious of everyone. Anything involving money. Be suspicious. And definitely be suspicious of some fucking freak you never met before telling he's been captured by gangsters on the internet. Christ almighty. Speak to family or friends to get advice, please. Please. Imagine if you told a dad, Dad, there's a bloke who I've never actually met before, but his picture looks nice and he wants 115 grand. He would say, get to bed without any supper, you silly little tart. You're never too old enough to get some common sense off daddy. Perform reverse image searches on profile pictures. See, that is actually good advice. I didn't know there was a way you could just perform reverse image searches. That's quite clever. They should have sort of told you how to do it though, shouldn't they? No more information. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you how to do it. Go to tineye.com and you can use an image by uploading it and do a reverse image search. Good, eh? Let's see if it works. I'll get the URL from this honking bit of kit's profile picture. Copy image address. Boom. There you go. It works. Now you know, folks, ladies, if you've been sent pictures of a handsome US Marine with a cock like a Coke can, be sure to use TinEye to do a reverse image search, and you won't get defrauded out of all your money. You are very welcome. Here's another depressing story. How many times have we talked about Sweden in the last couple of years? Safe Sweden faces up to a wave of women's killings. What's happened in the last 5 or 6 years that might have increased women's killings? Well, I'll give you a clue. The men doing it frequently reference Alan's world famous snack bar. Yeah? Yeah. And before Matty B and any of the lefties start going, how do you know that? I know. Just go on Google. Have a search. Look at the numbers. 6 women have been killed in just 5 weeks. Reigniting debate. All those evil, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, secular agnostic Swedes. They just can't help themselves, can they? I mean, they might have had the lowest crime rate in the fucking world for decades, but all of a sudden, we don't know why. They all just turned into savages. It just happened overnight, poof. They all went from being pleasant secular chaps to full-blown misogynistic, xenophobic killers. Yeah, it just happens. It just happens. And you can go through the whole story, not a single mention of the M-word, very specific Bronze Age theology. Nothing. Not once. Look. Growing concerns about violence towards women. Why? Why is there an increase in violence towards women's BBC? Why? Tell me why. There was a 15% rise on the 2019 figure. Why? Why, BBC? Tell us why. Sweden's gender equality minister. Fucking good job, Marta. You are doing a bang-up job, love. If Marta was a mechanic, she would fire an RPG at your fucking car to fix a puncture. That is how shit Marta Stenevi is at her job. And can you guess why? Because she's a screaming lefty arsehole. Marta, can you fix me flat tyre? It's fucked. Look, sexual violence is widespread in Sweden as well as other countries. What's other countries got to do with it? Do your job. You're hired to fucking sort Sweden out, you silly cow. Christ almighty. I don't want to hear that. I hate it when they do that over here. Boris, how come the bins haven't been emptied for a month? Oh, well, it's worse in France. I couldn't give a flying fuck if it's worse in France. Do your job, you big fat bag of jelly. 10-year national strategy that includes improving education, more support, fix the problem. We know why there's more crimes against women. We know because some people in certain parts of the world have a barbaric Bronze Age attitude towards women. Some people don't think they should be allowed to drive, educate, wear what they like, dress how they want. Some people think they deserve to be molested and brutalised if they show their fucking ankles. That's why the crime has gone up. Who are those mysterious people? Well, we can't talk about that. You just have to guess. Anyway, they can fuck off. This whole story, seriously, as always, I'll put the links in the comments. The entire thing, nothing. And if they even try to bring up issues, as it does towards the bottom, one guy said Johnny Vetterstrand said at least some of the violence may be connected to the pandemic. Okay, so let's talk about less about the where they come from, more about the pandemic. I'm so annoyed I've been locked up for 12 months. I'm going to strangle my wife and then beat her to death with a brick. Listen to your fucking selves. It doesn't have anything to do with where you come from. A woman is not safe with a man if she's from Africa, Sweden or anywhere else. Yes, if the man is hitting her, she's not safe. But are you more likely to be punched in the fucking eye by an agnostic secular chap from a middle-class background in a wealthy country as you are with an illiterate peasant from the armpit of the fucking world who follows a theocracy that teaches them that women are less than men? Is it equally likely? Is it? We all know the fucking answer. So that's enough bollocks from this nonsense story, from this nonsense minister, from what is increasingly becoming a nonsense country. You will never fix the problem. The crime will continue to go up because instead of fucking grasping the nettle and doing what needs to be done with strict punishments, stricter prison sentences and hearty deportations for the worst offenders, what they're going to do is they're going to send blokes like me on a fucking course. That'll fix it. It's like a bloke sitting on the fucking Titanic while 60% of it's under the water and blaming The fish tanks in the restaurant. I think them tanks were a little bit full, you know. It's the fucking 50-foot hole in the side of the ship, you utter fuckwit. Get a clue. Sweden, I am sorry, there's nothing funny about that. Your country's going to shit because you won't talk about the problem. To slay the beast, you must first say its name, and the Swedes are not willing to do it. So vote better. Vote better, Sweden. Vote for someone who is willing to name the problem and fix the problem. There was a really famous one. Anyone heard of Ellen Krantz? I just thought I'd bring it up for a second. Yeah, mega famous. She got murdered by, this fella. This fella. I won't say it out loud because Susan hates me. Susan! I can't even say it. I'll just leave it for you to read. Needless to say, the guy wasn't called fucking Alexander Karlsson or Andersson, whatever's a Swedish name. So we know what the problem is. Thanks. Finally, I'll cover this. Police had been warned. Of course they had. They're always warned. They're always warned. That twat who threw a little kid off the fucking museum roof in London, they'd been warned 50 times. Still kills everyone. The guy who lopped Lee Rigby's head off, they'd been warned 10 times. Still chopped his head off. The London Bridge killings, they'd been warned. They may as well walk around with a klaxon on the fucking head, blowing a foghorn. I'm off to stab some cunt. They still don't do anything about it. It's a scandal. Always the same. Because lefty arseholes constantly err on the side of caution and allow killers and criminals to have their fucking way because they're too scared to enforce the law. A London woman killed in Pakistan had warned the police her life was in danger less than 2 weeks before her murder, but she didn't matter because she was in Lahore. And when you're in Lahore, if you walk around like that, they think you are Lahore, so they don't fucking care what happens to you. No arrests have been made, probably won't be. I will kill you, Miss Zufkir named and accused a man who abducted her at gunpoint. Abducted her at gunpoint. And they went, yeah, but these things happen. If you're going to walk around in a short skirt, fucking hell. Of course you're going to get abducted at gunpoint. See you later, you yo-yo knickered Jezebel. Not good enough. So she got murdered. She went to Lahore. Everybody knows why it happened. We all know we're just not allowed to talk about it. So I better stop, because if you talk about facts, you get in trouble with the law. And I'm back in England, where they have less freedom of speech than a fucking sloth with a sack on its head. You're just not allowed to talk about it. So I better leave it there, hadn't I? Not much fun this week, folks. There wasn't too many ridiculous stories about why it's good to give your granddad a chew. You know, it was quite a slow week for that type of thing. Weird. Maybe because 50% of the staff was busy chasing Lawrence Fox around London, you know, with flaming torches like he was fucking Frankenstein's monster. Who knows? But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share it. YouTube's certainly not going to do it, either. I'm on Susan's shit list. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check the links below. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you very soon for a live stream. Cheers.